Live from Screen Junkies Studios, it's a special R-rated movie fights. Things are gonna get dirty. Now, here's your fucking host, Andy Signore.
Hello, Screen Junkies. Welcome to a very special episode of Movie Fights. This is going to be an R-rated movie fight. So if you're a child, or you have children watching, which sometimes they do, this is not the episode for you. I want to apologize in advance. And that's because we have an amazing special guest here promoting the hilariously and R-rated movie Sausage Party, which comes out August 12th. Oh my God, it's Seth Rogen.
Hi.
Hey, Seth, how you doing?
I'm great. This is fun. It never have less in shape people been on a set that is so sports themed ever in the history of mankind.
It's so true.
It looks like we're the people who are like testing the mics and the cameras, and then four really in shape guys in suits are going to sit down and start an actual show. Yeah. All right, the mic's working. You bring in Terry Bradshaw. Yeah.
No, we're here to talk. And we're talking about the most important things today. We're going to be talking about the best dick in a movie.
Perfect.
Best sex scene.
Yes.
And so much more fun stuff that you're not going to miss, so stay tuned. But Seth, I got to start there with you. Sausage, I mean, you know I'm Pineapple Express, Knocked Up, all these things. But Sausage Party is your first animated, R-rated, Pixar-style movie. Like,
yes.
How satisfying was that to be able to get to make that? Because I know you've been working on it for a while.
Really long time. We came up with the idea like 10 years ago, and it took us a while to write the script, and then it took us a while to convince anyone to make it because studios don't want to make things that have never been made before, and it scares the shit out of them. And so for years we tried to sell it and no one would buy it, and then this amazing woman, Megan Ellison, who's made a lot of very fancy movies, really became obsessed with Sausage Party, and it was really because of her that the movie ultimately got made. Her and Amy Pascal are for sure the reasons that finally.
Well, I'd read you were talking about how these Pixar movies are made, but the weirdest one to do would be food, because you realize how messed up that would be. So, I mean, was most of those, because it's really funny, that finale's amazing, that Saving Private Ryan, there's so many movie moments, as movie lovers, you'll want to see this, and I can tell you were hiding little Easter eggs throughout, but were there like, right away, was that like finale, I don't want to give it away, but were there certain moments that you just knew right away that had to be in there?
Yes, for sure. There was like 3 or 4 things that once we came up with the idea, and a lot of movies are like that, like with Superbad, it was like the period blood scene was like something that like we knew we wanted
on the whiteboard,
in there. Exactly. That was the first. The word Superbad, and then the next words were period blood. And I think with Pineapple Express, it was like car chase. Like I think it was like every movie has those things. And with Sausage Party, there were 3 or 4 of them, which survived, the last decade and made it into the movie. And I'm really, even I watch it and I'm shocked they let us make it, which says a lot, because like I'm amazed, and it looks so good, and everyone in it, I think it really has like some of the funniest people in the world in it, and the music is amazing. Alan Menken did the music, which is insane, and he did the score for the whole movie, so it really sounds like a Disney movie from our childhood, because
with a lot of cursing and sex,
with a lot of profanity, and. For me, I really enjoy it, and I hope other people do as well. It's fun to watch in a theater. It's rare you're in a theater with like 300 other people, and they truly can't believe that someone was allowed to make the thing they're watching.
Well, I was going to say,
which is really the feeling you have while watching the movie.
And this is a high compliment for me, but the last time I remember that was the South Park movie, which I think was a genius way of doing that, and I thought you guys go on so many interesting themes and things you do that I highly recommend it. So if you're out there, make sure you see Sausage Party on August 12th in theaters everywhere. And hashtag it's Sausage Party Movie at sausage_party. We're hyping this.
There's a reason it's Sausage Party Movie, because if you go to www.sausageparty.com,
or even hashtag Sausage Party, I'm sure
you will find the reason that the word movie was not so surgically added onto that.
It's a lemon party affiliate.
It's I think it's a subsidiary of the same organization. Yeah,
Tub Girl meets Big Sausage Party.
They're all. It's a conglomerate of.
Our next project is Cake Farts. Go see the movie.
All right. Well, I've been lucky to meet you before. I know you're a movie aficionado, so I'm very excited to see how you handle this arena.
Yeah.
But let's meet who you're fighting against. Writer of Honest Trailers, Mr. Joe Starr is back. Hey, Joe.
Hey, I'm so excited. We are finally arguing about things that actually fucking matter on movie fights, like big stuff. Yeah. So I'm pumped. This is gonna be great.
Main writer from Honest Trailers, Spencer Gilbert.
Yes, like Joe, I've been studying best movie dick my whole life, so I'm ready to finally put my money where my mouth is.
We're finally going to do it.
Exactly.
It's been too long. And on the fact checking cam art movie fights champion, Mr. Dan Murrell. Seth, if you say anything wrong or you have a question, he's got the internet.
Fantastic. Here's the internet. See,
And
you are a very powerful man.
I am. I have the internet, and I look like I'm in a basement, so I feel like my appearance more matches my
If
surroundings.
there was one guy I picked in this room to look like he was the guy who had the internet, it would be you.
I take that. All right, here we go. Rules. So I'm basing it on your argument, Seth. All
Okay,
you
great.
guys. So this is debate club.
Not on the definitive fact of which is the best dick in a movie on a scientific level. I
you
get
could
good.
offer some. I was gonna say.
I'm glad you're foregoing science in sake of just
facts, passion, and creativity.
conjecture
What
and
you
hearsay.
drop.
Perfect.
If you have good facts about best dick, I'm gonna hear them. I'm keeping notes. I'm keeping score.
Yeah.
I will be basing it based on your arguments. So do you have any questions before we begin?
No, I should probably pee before we go, honestly.
It's all part of the game, man.
What, you really need to pee because we should pause.
I realize I actually think I'll argue better if I pee. And you keep this part though. So I don't want people to know. There'll be an organic weird thing. They should know that it happened. And use me coming
Can we
back.
do a star wipe?
Yeah, just have a wipe, and you'll see me
Can we all
look
change shirts?
noticeably more released. This is not a psychological game I'm playing with you guys either in a competitive matter. I actually think I'll argue better if I don't have the
just
burden of
leaves.
kinda having
We
to
should
pee
have
this
asked
whole
first.
time.
We're terrible hosts.
It just started. It started pretty abruptly. Okay,
Let's go have him pee.
let me pee, and I'll come back, and I'm gonna win this shit.
And we're back.
Hey!
I feel great. Thank you.
That was way important.
Yes,
Move.
it's been 3 hours since you asked.
You would really pee.
Don't ask
peed
what
for a
happened.
really long
Don't
time.
ask what happened.
It was like make a gun in there. All
I
right.
should return like covered in sweat.
All right, let's do this round. All right, let's get ready to fight.
Wow, look at this. I did not agree to be on a show that featured Mel Gibson
Get him out of there.
in any
blur 'em.
capacity.
All right, round one. This is important. You use
important.
You use this word a lot in your movies, and you use it really well, I think. But we're going to finally definitively put this question out to task and figure out the answer. What is the best use of the F word in a movie?
How does that?
Yeah, so
keep going.
that's it. What is the best use? You're arguing here the best use of the F word in a movie, and I'm going to start with you, Spencer, just so Seth can see how it goes.
Okay, sure. So I'm picking a film, the car rental scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Can I take notes during this?
Yeah, go
course,
for
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, because this movie is now 20 years old, just pause this, Google it, look it up. You got to watch this scene. Come back, and we're back. This is the best use of profanity in any film because it's earned. This is a movie that would have been PG otherwise, but it has a R rating just because of this scene. John Hughes demanded that it stay in the movie just because it's so important to the plot and so important to the character, is him just saying, I need my fucking car right fucking now. This is, it's so good because it comes out of nowhere. This is a family movie otherwise that just drops 18 fucks on you in the span of like 30 seconds. It's like a kid's movie that just becomes Scarface out of nowhere. It's so effective. It's so perfect. Steve Martin plays it so good because he's so restrained. Like if this were like Jim Carrey or Chris Tucker, they'd be like, give me my fucking car! But he's just like, no, he's a powerless man doing his best to keep his cool and just get what he wants out of this scene. That's my favorite use of fuck in a movie.
Joe, what's your F word?
Look, I'm going to argue the most important F word in arguably the most important movie, and that is the line, I used to fuck guys like you in prison, from the classic Roadhouse.
Again with the Roadhouse,
Again
Joe.
with the Roadhouse. Look, this is not just a great use of fuck. This is a character-driven use of fuck. Dalton is an enigma. He is a riddle. He's a mystery. No one knows anything about Dalton. He's rumored to have a darkness inside of him, and it takes a guy with a seashell necklace to say, I used to fuck guys like you in prison, to really bring that darkness out of him, and it gives us a throat rip.
Wow.
All right, Seth, what's your F word?
Mine is in Die Hard. It's Yippee-Ki-Yay Motherfucker from John McClane, which is not only It's the most. It's not only the most iconic use of the F word in a movie. It's one of the greatest movie lines ever in a movie, and it just happens to include the F word, which is fucking fantastic. How do you beat that? It's not even F word dependent, is how good that line is, and the F word just happens to be sitting in there, and that is one of the things that's fantastic about it. On a personal level, it was one of my mother's favorite movies, and when I was a child, it's probably the first time I heard the word motherfucker. I didn't know who Roy Rogers was. I looked that up afterwards. I remember asking my parents. But I think it's such a good use of the word motherfucker and fuck. They got like 4 fucking uses out of it or something like that, or more. I don't even know how many. And no one's unhappy. It's not cheesy whenever you hear it again. You're like, is he going to say it? And when he does, you're fucking thrilled about it. Because it is, without a doubt, the best use of the F word ever in a movie.
All right, open field, fight.
It is pretty great. It's hard to argue against Yippee-Ki-Yay,
Can we first just both agree, fuck Roadhouse altogether?
I wasn't going to address Roadhouse.
We're doing it. All right. I think we could just agree that like nothing in Roadhouse is the best use of anything ever.
Well, even MacGruber is a better throat
There's
rip.
no element of Roadhouse that has any element that is better than any other
Much like
element in
Dalton,
any other
I am
movie.
about to put your arguments against a brick wall in a barn and fuck them dry. Okay, so here we go.
It's such a confusing use of fuck, because like he's so oily and shirtless. The intent of I fuck guys like you in prison is so confusing.
Yeah, it is the embodiment of the 80s. It's a threat. It's kind of flirting. Like, this is a guy
that's
who
the thing. It's like it's supposed to be threatening, but it comes out flirty.
Because he's a villain with depth.
There's no clarity to it. It's confusing use of the word fuck.
It's a really muddled fuck.
It's a muddled fuck.
No, it is not a muddled fuck. I want a villain with depth. I want a guy who's conflicted about, does he want to kill you?
Muddled fucker.
Does he want to fuck you? And Roadhouse gives us that. I want to fuck
I gotta
guys
be
like you in
honest.
prison.
I don't believe that he used to fuck guys like that in prison for 1 second.
You'd
Maybe
be
he
lucky
did.
to fuck guys
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that.
I don't even think it was real.
Maybe he didn't. But as an audience member, now that's in your head. This is a movie with so
Yeah,
many layers.
exactly.
I'm just thinking of that now.
you get in
and I
your
haven't
head.
thought of the movie Roadhouse since 1986.
You get
or
taken
whenever
out of it, and
came
you
out.
get in your head like, huh, he did fuck guys. Like, was it consensual? I guess
Yeah,
he did.
exactly.
Do prison.
It takes you out of the movie.
Look, let's rip a different throat for a second. I want to talk about the reputation of Yippee-Ki-Yay motherfucker, which was ruined by the PG-13 Die Hard, where he said Yippee-Ki-Yay mother, and then they cut to an explosion.
Well, okay,
it's
here's
ruined
actually,
by-
I just thought of another argument for Yippee-Ki-Yay motherfucker. It spawned the best TV version of an F word of all time, which is Yippee-Ki-Yay melon farmer.
I thought it was Mr. Falcon.
No, it was Yippee-Ki-Yay melon farmer.
But the best is Big Lebowski, Never French a Stranger in the Alps.
No, it's Snakes on a Plane.
That was riding on the coattails of
I'm tired of
Yippee-Ki-Yay
snakes
melon
on
farmer.
this.
They were standing on the shoulders of the giant that is Yippee-Ki-Yay melon farmer.
Die Hard 2 through 5 kind of softens Yippee-Ki-Yay motherfucker because they shoehorn it in
Diminishing
time and time
returns.
again.
You're psyched every time. If they
You're
didn't
not
have
psyched
it in
every
there,
time.
you would be happier if they didn't say
Yes,
Yippee-Ki-Yay.
because it feels obligatory.
That's psychotic.
It made sense in Die Hard 1 because
don't go see Die Hard 3 if you don't want to hear the words Yippee-Ki-Yay.
it's not in Die Hard 3. It's in Die Hard 2, 4, and 5. And
then
fact check me on that, Dan.
Yippee-Ki-Yay. Die Hard 3 is the one with Sam Jackson?
Yeah.
He for sure says it somewhere.
I personally...
Die Hard is a movie.
Before he mixes the two goos together to make a super goo that blows up the fucking boat at the end of the movie.
It might be in the two goose scene.
Yeah,
but
it's in the two goose
Die
scene.
Hard is a movie
100%.
full of
No,
quotes.
I actually know what it is. After the two goose scene, they fucking escape to Canada, and then there's like a little post scene in Montreal, which I remember because I'm Canadian, and he's in a helicopter. He shoots the electrical wire, swings
Die
down,
Hard
and he
4?
says, "Yippee-ki-yay,
I thought that was
motherfucker."
Die Hard 2.
Yeah,
Give you the thumbs up.
It's the Hans Gruber.
Dan's
one.
giving the thumbs
Spencer is tricking us right now into ignoring Plane, Trains, and Automobile, and I don't want to do that because my Steve Martin.
I can
is-
get it. No, I can.
Let's do
I can
this.
easily take down.
Bring it.
Let's do it.
I have a few thoughts on this. I don't think that it's the best use to fuck. I think it's I don't think that's the funniest scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I think if you ask most people the funniest scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, it's the you play with your nuts a lot scene, which is
not
a
the
better
funniest scene.
And I think if you ask most people, what's your favorite part of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles? Give me a line from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's you play with your nuts a lot.
Yeah.
Larry Bird doesn't do as much ball handling in a game as you do. And that happens, if I'm not mistaken, before the fuck scene, right? So
That does happen before
in
the
my
fuck scene.
opinion, the fuck fuck is a little diffused by then. We've heard him say nuts. We've heard him talking about
Nuts
playing
is not on
with
the
nuts.
same level as fuck.
But I also think I think he hits the fucks too hard in that scene. Steve Martin,
No, we've all been there. We've all been
few
there.
people more genius than Steve Martin. I think.
But when it comes to saying fuck?
I don't think he says fuck that well.
No, he says fuck perfectly because it's coming out of Steve Martin. And he's so squeaky clean. It's like hearing Jerry Seinfeld or your grandmother
It's a gimmicky
curse.
fuck. It's a gimmicky fuck.
It's not a gimmicky fuck.
I think there's
It's an
gimmick to
earned
that.
fuck.
I
It's
think
a
that is-
completely
What do you say
earned
about
fuck.
the earned fuck?
Decidedly.
Not earned?
I don't know if to me it's a give. It takes me out of the movie.
He's
honestly.
up against a bureaucracy that doesn't care. He's
And he's
in a
saying
powerless
that
situation.
woman's just like she's just working in a rental car
No,
place.
no, she's not
fucking
working.
trying to
She's
get her
not.
shit.
No. She's not working.
She's on a personal
She's on a
call.
personal
She's on a personal
call with her family during the most busy travel time of
The
the
other
year.
thing that's just
Oh,
distracting
save
about-
me the turkey.
Here's what also
fuck you.
What disqualifies to me also that whole chunk of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is it has maybe the most distracting music ever in the history of film, in that it samples lines from the movie itself, and
remix.
they use that line. Give me my fucking car. Whatever, like that,
Okay, talk about a
throughout
remix.
The rest of the score.
Yippee-ki-yay,
of the movie.
motherfucker is not an original line.
I'm
It's a
saying-
remix of a Roy
I'm just
Rogers
saying
line.
They're taking it out of the movie.
It's
It
a
takes me
remix.
out of the
All they
movie.
added to that is motherfucker. It's like if I
inorganic.
said "Hasta la vista, baby fucker." Like you're taking an existing
No,
catchphrase
I would right
and
now
adding
be,
a
if I would right
adding
now
a
be,
fuck to
I would
it.
right now be arguing that Hasta la Vista Baby Fucker
Jesus
was
Christ, you
the
guys.
single best use of fuck ever in a movie. Hands down.
I'm gonna echo what I know all our fans are thinking right now. Can we fucking talk about Roadhouse some more?
Roadhouse is done. Roadhouse is done.
Fuck you.
All right.
You're the most
Final
impartial judge,
argument,
Andy.
Spencer.
I just think that this fuck, you want profanity in life and in movies to mean something. You want it to be something you save for an extreme situation. What's one more fuck in Reservoir Dogs? Nothing. But a fuck.
No one's arguing
A
that.
fuck in a PG movie. Like Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, that becomes R because of the fuck, because of how necessary it was to the scene, is the best fuck. Die Hard's a great movie. It's got all kinds of quotable lines. Oh, come into the coast, have a few laughs. Ho, 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 I got a machine gun. Hans, Booby, I'm your...
You play with your nuts a lot.
But Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker is great, but this one is the most appropriate earned fuck in film.
Joe, final thoughts.
Look, I know I'm the underdog here, but Steve Martin, great banjo player. He king tuts like a son of a bitch, but he is a novice user of the word fuck. And fuck in Roadhouse does mean something. It leads to the biggest moment in that movie, the throat rip on the shore of a lake. Are you kidding me? My fuck gives you the third act finale. And Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker, is just a case of diminishing returns. Mine services the movie.
Seth, final thought.
I'm arguing that its use in the movie Die Hard is the greatest use of the word fuck. And the others were just fucking second, third, and fourth courses to follow up my delicious meal. But Roadhouse, I just literally wrote the word Roadhouse with 3 question marks behind it. And I did not even bother forming an argument against it beyond that.
There's a lot of other notes there, too.
And the car rental scene in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles required a little more dissecting, but I agree. Steve Martin, not the best user of the word fuck. If he was, he would say it more, and he doesn't, because he even knows he doesn't use it that well. That's not the funniest scene in that movie, and I bet in a movie theater that scene didn't even play that well.
Time. Ooh, that was a spirited first round.
great.
Dan Murrell,
Hot
anything
out
you'd
the
like to
gate.
fact check there?
Roadhouse was released in 1989. Kudos to Spencer. Steve Martin actually does use the word fuck 18 times exactly in that airport
counted.
speech. John McClane says yippee-ki-yay motherfucker 5 times once in each movie. Hans Gruber says it once at the end of Die Hard.
Yippee-ki-yay.
You're both right.
Oh, no.
Yippee-ki-yay Melon Farmer was a Die Hard 3 TV edit, so Seth is right. Yippee-ki-yay Mr. Falcon was a Die Hard 2 edit, and apparently Yippee-ki-yay My Friend is also a TV edit that's out there.
All great.
So there you go.
My friend.
Other than that, nothing else for you.
All right, based on those arguments, I mean, usually a first-time fighter doesn't come out so hard at the gate, but I was really impressed how you took out...
I came to play.
Yeah, you really came to play. But there was so much stuff. But the fact that you schooled him on the Die Hard 3, you knew that one, you were ready to fight him on that. I think both Spencer and Seth knocked you out, Joe. There just wasn't enough familiarity with Roadhouse.
That's fine. Roadhouse is
But
Bernie
your-
Sanders, and I'm fine with
Your take on
it.
other funny scenes and your take on Steve Martin is one I wouldn't have. I don't know if I agree with, but it was a strong argument against. I didn't hear something strong against Die Hard. Seth gets the first point. They're going to say it's because you're a celebrity and I'm just sucking your dick, but I thought you gave the best argument there.
Either way, I don't
Got it. Yeah.
I earned both those things.
You guys were gone a while.
I worked hard for both.
Round 2.
Just wait till we get to
This
the best
one's
dick.
This is it. This is really important, and this is where all the balls are on the line for this one. Best movie dick. Now, there's a lot of dicks, and you've had some dicks in your movies.
Yeah, and I would not argue any of them are the best.
There you go. Right? But you've had some dicks, and there were a lot of dicks in play for this potential fight. But you guys picked 3 dicks. Joe, go. Let's start it again. It's just simple. What is the best movie dick? And we'll have some visual aids on there that I believe will be uncensored on Plus, but YouTube won't let us show dick. So sorry,
Guys. The best movie. This shouldn't even be a fight. This round should just be everyone going, yes, it is this one, and nodding. It's Boogie Nights. It's the end of Boogie Nights. Dirk Diggler takes out his dick. I'm a star. I'm a star.
Wow, that is uncensored for what we're looking at.
Look at that. Look at that son of a bitch. It's like a
circumcised?
It's like the
Enhanced, JT. Enhanced.
Yeah.
it's like the worm thing going after the Millennium Falcon. It's look at that dick.
all right. Let's hear all the dicks, and then we can fight more. Spencer, or so actually Seth this time.
My dick is hands down the greatest dick in movie history. It's probably one of the greatest actors ever to show his dick in a movie. It's Harvey Keitel in Bad Lieutenant. It's a fucking great dick. It's in an incredible moment. Look at the pain on his dick. That guy's dick is acting. His face isn't acting. His fucking dick is acting. I defy you to show me another dick that is emoting as much as that man's dick is in that scene. That dick makes you want to cry. And it's not because it's a small dick.
It's because it's a method dick.
It's because that dick is in the moment.
Spencer, your dick.
You're right. Harvey Keitel's dick was acting. My dick is just being. My dick is Jason Segel in Forgetting Sarah Marshall when he's being dumped with his dick out. His dick. No man is more physically vulnerable when they have a dick out, and no man is more emotionally vulnerable than when they've just been dumped. This harmonizes the two beautifully, and you did not see this coming. And to have him be dumped with his flaccid penis on screen is the bravest movie dick, and I would argue the best.
All right, guys, now fight it out. Go ahead. Let's go back to you, Joe. You can get a little bit more out.
Well, first of all, I know we can jump into this. I know that everyone's initial argument is going to be Dirk Diggler's dick is a fake dick in this movie.
Thank you.
Yes.
This is a fake dick.
You just did our job for us, my man. That's great.
There is not a person at this table.
On to Jason Segel.
There's not a person at this table who would say no to a dick made by Greg Nicotero. One of the
I would.
great.
That dick is all out of proportion. It's a fucking weird dick.
Just like Dirk Diggler's life. It matches his character.
And I've seen, as someone who's ingested an unhealthy amount of pornography, I've seen a lot of giant dicks.
Sure.
They don't look like that.
Yeah, that's structurally unsound.
That is not. It does not have the integrity a dick would need in order
That's why
to
he's a star.
maintain
You're not
itself.
going to make a movie called Boogie Nights and just make it about a guy with a dick. You're going to make
I
it
just
a
think
special, unique dick.
that's a coward's dick right there.
The
That's not a real
The fact
dick.
that it's not a real dick instantly should disqualify it
It's
from
an,
this conversation.
it's an unnecessary dick. You can, through simple trigonometry, you can track their eye level in other scenes, how they go down. You take the sine, the cosine.
it's the wrong side.
Movies aren't trigonometry.
You can tell how big that dick is without showing that
Not
dick.
a real dick. And all it makes me think is Mark Wahlberg must have a small dick.
Tiny Boston penis.
We're not talking about Mark Wahlberg's dick. We're talking about Dirk
we are.
Diggler's dick.
Yeah,
This is
but-
a narrative.
But again, it took me out of the moment. I think a good movie
It
dick.
took you out of
I
the
think a good
moment.
movie dick moves the plot forward. It brings you deeper into the moment. And that dick, all it does is, I remember Boogie Nights, one of my favorite movies of all time, one of the greatest movies of all time. That moment, all I'm thinking is, what the fuck? He's got a rubber fucking dick.
But
That's all you're thinking when you see that
everything
dick.
leads to that dick.
Which is
That's
why
the
it was
point.
so
You don't need
disappointing.
it.
Which is why it was so disappointing. He should have used practical.
He should have gone
Kubrick
method.
style effects. Got
pumps.
a guy with a real
no, he should have
giant dick and
stretched his
superimposed
dick.
it, or fucking used like blues.
There is
on there.
there is only one dick
You
version
walk off
of
the
his-
camera. You use glass. You paint the nice dick on the glass,
No.
and you use the forced
I
perspective.
need to see
visual
that dick
effects artist.
erect before I believe it. I need to see that dick at full mast. Otherwise,
That's
it's just not a real dick.
That's not a dick. It's
We have
rubber.
narratively seen
It's
that
a
dick
rubber
erect this
dick.
entire movie.
It's a rubber
The script
dick.
has given us erect dick this whole movie.
Yo,
that is the only dick.
If the subject was best prosthetic dick, I'd be with you, my man.
That man did not have the balls to put his own dick on film.
Andy accepted this dick. This dick is in the argument that's a bullshit argument.
Okay, once again, let's move on to the real fight, which is
Keitel's dick.
me and Spencer.
Like you said, Keitel's dick was
Yeah.
acting. It was a try-hard dick. This was a dick that was
No.
looking for its Oscar reel moment. My dick was just being itself. It was playing the moment honestly.
I can disqualify that if that is the cornerstone of your argument.
No, not yet. Okay,
I can
okay.
disqualify it based on my own personal knowledge of the filming of that scene, which is Jason Segel fluffed his dick up between takes. That is not the size of his dick in its natural state. That is not a vulnerable man,
That's
Your
not
Honor.
fair.
That is a man who is trying to make his dick appear bigger than it truly is.
It is a novice.
Whereas I defy you to tell me to my face Harvey Keitel did anything but show his dick in the most vulnerable, shrimpy, sad,
So what we're saying is,
unphotogenic state a dick could ever be shown in.
You're either gonna go
perhaps
real-
in the history of movies.
You're either
That
gonna go
is
real-
the realest dick ever to be in a movie, and therefore the best dick to
was
ever be in a movie.
fluffy.
That is an honest dick. That would be Hemingway's favorite dick.
Jason Segel made
that is an honest dick.
Segel made a rookie mistake. Mark Wahlberg said,
He
"Hey,
fluffed.
you know what? I don't want to show my dick in this scene." And he said, "Maybe I should put a fake dick on my pants."
What
and
else?
he did.
Because I don't know who you're even
he's an
talking to
experienced
anymore
actor.
right now. Hey, no one is going with your dick. On the Segel dick, I will also say, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, one of my favorite movies of all time.
Sure.
Had Segel not fluffed his dick up, had he pulled a Keitel and showed his dick in its true natural state, I would argue that scene would have been even funnier.
Yeah, but he also...
So I think that scene had somewhere to go. I can note that dick.
Right before-
You give Harvey Keitel's dick's notes. There is no note you can give that dick to
I would
improve
say,
that scene.
Harvey, dial it back a little
Oh,
bit.
you would never say that. And Abel Ferreira would throw you off his set. I bet Nick Stoller would admit to you that scene would be funnier were that dick
No,
smaller.
because Jason
Smaller
Segel, right
dick's
before
always
the dick
funnier.
reveal, he's doing the slap back and forth,
Yeah.
which horrifyingly enough, my wife told me that every guy she's dated has done that move before, so
And
it
you
plays
too?
very real.
Clearly.
Yes. And so
It's not as funny as it could
It's
be.
not
that
as
dick.
funny as-
That dick has
Yeah.
comedically.
But-
I could note that dick.
what is
There
this?
notes I
What
could give
is
that
this
dick.
scene without Jason Segel's dick? It's a fairly generic "I'm breaking up with you" scene. Oh, the guy's
One
depressed.
could argue that makes it a gimmick dick
No,
as well.
because
I agree.
it's one of the greatest
is-
scenes in the movie because of the nudity. The nudity informs the scene, and it's what makes it funny. It's like, I need to
Well,
hold you. I can't put my pants on,
I
or
would
else
argue
this is going to be real.
I would argue they were walking in the footsteps of Harvey Keitel and showing and using that benchmark of nudity to express
I would argue that-
vulnerability.
I would argue that
and they
Keitel's
were
dick is a
applying
stunt.
that framework to Forgetting
also,
Sarah Marshall.
this-
They were standing on Harvey Keitel's dick.
Let's talk about the dicks themselves.
They were standing on the shoulders of Harvey Keitel's
I don't think
dick.
Keitel's dick was necessary. I think
That's
your
insane.
your dick is at the start of an
All right,
arc.
Joe,
My
let's
dick
hear
is
it.
at, your dick is at the start of an arc. My dick is the result of a
But
full
your
arc.
dick's not a dick, my friend. It's not a dick.
According to Andy Signore, that is
Well,
a dick.
It's a movie dick. It's the
a
best movie dick.
but I'm just saying, for the purpose of our argument, it's hard to argue
It's
that's the
not
best
best
dick when
dildo.
It's not
It's a
dick.
dildo.
It's not.
It's a
dick.
glorified dildo.
Yeah, and I would argue that's not even the best dildo in a movie. That would go to South Park, Bigger, Longer.
Yeah.
That's the best use of a dildo.
I can't believe it's a stunt. He fluffed. That's really throwing me off.
I
But
know.
final
I threw-
thoughts, Joe.
I threw you off your whole game with that one. Brother. I got in your head with that shit. You don't even know if it's true. I just fucked you up.
Joe,
The Boogie Nights dick, which, according to you, for this argument, is a real fucking
don't throw
movie
me
dick.
under
According
this.
to him,
You gotta
that's
make a
fine.
bad argument.
That's
Look,
fine.
This dick is the peak of an entire character
Sign
arc.
a technicality. That's a good way.
Everything. Hey, that's if I got to do. Everything in this movie is leading to this dick. Everything. Recording the song "The Touch," getting all those weird blowjobs, having the Colonel stare at his dick, his coke problems, his mommy issues. Everything leads to this dick. And this dick has created Hollywood urban legends. The mysteries of the replicas of this dick. Who's got him? Who doesn't? This dick's
You
a
want,
big deal.
you want Hollywood urban legends about a dick. I defy you to give me a dick with more Hollywood urban legends than Harvey Keitel's dick.
can you, for those who haven't seen it, would you mind reenacting that dick moment?
There's also I won't share it, but you can look it up online. There's an amazing Eyes Wide Shut urban legend, which I'm sure you guys know, that also involves Harvey Keitel's dick. So Stanley Kubrick and Harvey Keitel's dick have interconnecting paths.
Have touch tips.
It's one of the most important dicks in movie history.
Final thought, Spencer.
Okay, you expect Harvey Keitel's dick. This is a movie full of hookers and rape and heroin.
I did it because I rented that movie because I heard there was a lot of sex in it, and when I saw it, when I saw it, believe me, I did not expect that.
Your dick is try hard. I picked the everyman's dick. I picked the dick that's honest, that's itself. I know
It's
he
not.
fluffed.
You
Who
know that's
wouldn't?
not it. You just
Even
negated
I
your
can
own
relate
argument.
to fluffing if my dick was going to be on camera. I would give it the old once over just before, we drop the towel. I get that. That's understandable. And this is a dick that has the most impact. It takes a scene from good to great, and it just feels the dick is a metaphor. The dick is a metaphor for his emotional vulnerability.
Time. Dan Murrell, anything to add?
I'm reading the Harvey Keitel story about Eyes Wide Shut. That's interesting.
Yeah. Sure is.
I had to.
See, his dick is still giving.
I had to turn Safe Search off, first of all, fact checking a lot of this. I will say there is anecdotal evidence, not that I doubted Seth, but there is anecdotal evidence from Jason Segel himself about the.
Oh, I'm not.
He played coy about it, but I found a 2008 interview with Alt Weeklies where he was asked about it, and he towed the line very gracefully about whether or not there was fluffing involved. So I would definitely say that the door is open.
It
So
is
it's not
possible
just trying to make something up to win the fight. Other dicks that I saw mentioned, Ken Jeong in The Hangover.
Great
Oh,
dick.
yeah.
Michael Fassbender in Shame.
Classic dick.
Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan would have been a good one.
Again, not a real dick.
An offbeat choice, David Bowie in Labyrinth.
Yeah,
That's a different-
there's a very microscopic layer of velour covering it, but it's still a dick.
But other than that, yeah, it's that's a hard round to fact check. No pun intended.
This was definitely a hard one to do. All right. I honestly, I didn't think he was going to do it, but from the emoting to then the fluffing, even you, Spencer, sort of got whiffed. And then the fakeness, you didn't have enough to combat that. So Joe, that sort of hit you. So Joe, Spencer, you're out. Seth gets the second point. Holy crap.
Dude, I'm doing
You are
this.
crushing this. You're going all the way. All right, here we go. Round 3. This is a pitch question. We, in honor of Sausage Party again, you took sort of the Pixar format and made it R-rated. We want you to pitch a reboot of a G or PG-rated movie as a hard R reboot. So tell me any movie you like. You can pick it's just got to be PG or G, and tell me what your R-rated equivalent will be. Seth, it's your turn to start if you're ready. Do you remember?
Yes. This would be an unconventional film. I will give you this first off. But I personally would be the first in line to see this. It's Nicholas Winding Refn's hard R reboot of My Dinner with Andre, which is a movie, if you haven't seen it, is entirely based on two people speaking to one another. Nicholas Winding Refn, on the other hand, pretty much has made a career out of making movies where people do not say anything to one another, and sheerly out of, honestly, creative endeavor, audacity, and not rebooting a beloved classic, but something that I think most people could agree had some places to go. I would argue this is a reboot that I would be the first in line to go see.
All right, we'll hear more about why it's going to be R. We'll come back. Spencer, what's your pick?
Oh, I am doing Eli Roth's Willy Wonka, starring Crispin Glover as the titular Wonka. I think Willy Wonka is a horror movie at its core. I think that it's wearing the clothes of a children's flick, and I want to unleash its full potential. I think it has all the ingredients of one of the all-time best horror movies of all time. You need a contained environment, like Jaws had the boat, Freddy Krueger's got dreams. You need a good monster. You get a shark, you have an alien. What's scarier than a man who lures children into a factory with candy? And you need a sin that these kids are paying for, and it's the classic sin of greed and the appetite, the uncontrolled appetite, and not obeying the rules. You have all the ingredients of a fantastic horror movie, and you really don't have to change too much about Willy Wonka. I have a few proposed changes that I'll get to, but I think if you just show the kills, you've got a great horror movie on your hands.
Joe, what's your reboot?
I'm taking a beloved family film that is only a few degrees from being a horrifically violent Korean revenge thriller anyway, and that is the tale of two men who make the mistake of breaking into a child's house when he is home alone. The revenge thriller Korean reboot of Home Alone.
Where's the Korean part?
Because Chan-wook Park, the director of Oldboy, would make an amazing.
It's Chan.
No one does crazy revenge better than Korean cinema.
All right.
Okay, but yeah, Korean cinema is to me, it's so psychological. It's so much about like psychological horror and just people.
And Home Alone isn't?
Home Alone is about torture. It's a Gorno if you make that a horror movie. It's about cutting people up and burning their heads and shit like that. Home Alone is not about the existential dread of oh my god, I abandoned my child and now this girl is haunting me. That's Korean horror to me, not Eli Roth movie like Willy Wonka could be. I think the only changes I'm making to this is Charlie's grandpa is in an asylum when we meet him, and when singing "In a world of pure imagination," and when Charlie goes to tell him he's going into the chocolate factory, he snaps out of it. He goes, "No," because he won the original contest and was tortured by Willy Wonka in the beginning. So he's the wounded one that warns us of what's to come. And then I love My Dinner with Andre. It's weirdly one of my favorite movies. It's
There you go.
better than Batman v Superman, better than Civil War. Wallace Shawn v Andre is that.
It's one of the greatest battles of all time.
Truly one of the greatest
Kramer
battles of all
versus
time.
Kramer.
Yeah. And
Why is it rated R? Why, if you take the words
I
out?
was gonna say, let's hear
Because
some
it's
more.
about conflict, and nothing is a better personification of conflict than violence. And it would go from a verbal sparring match to a 2-hour movie of two men in a restaurant slowly trying to kill each other.
Very slowly.
Oh, very slowly. Without saying anything. I have arguments against both yours, and there's already been fucking reboots of those things already. There's already been a shitty Willy Wonka reboot. No one wants more of that. There's 18 Home Alone movies. I don't even know who's in them anymore. They're just getting kids off the street and putting them in Home Alone at this point.
That's why I'm wiping the slate clean.
This isn't a reboot, it's a reimagining. There's a very specific and budget-conscious difference.
You would be furious if
You're kind of just pitching Seven.
We've already lost Willy Wonka with the Johnny Depp one. Let's actually do something interesting with it, which is make a different type of movie with the same premise of a creepy old man who lures kids to a factory with candy. You can even keep the boat scene. The boat scene is already from a horror movie, as is.
They did that in the Johnny Depp one. Yeah. I would argue that the movie you're pitching is the Johnny Depp version of the Willy Wonka the Chocolate Factory.
Do you see Veruca Salt burned alive and her skin peeled from her face?
You couldn't make a creepier character than what Johnny Depp played.
I think
Crispin Glover would make that creepier.
Maybe. I don't think so.
The fake teeth on Depp,
that is
scary
the
as hell.
creepiest shit ever.
The idea that the director of Oldboy doesn't have varying types of scares and suspense in his movie is a little ridiculous. Nothing is scarier in a horror movie than a weird small child. And I think he could knock that out of the park. A creepy child who's...
White children are not scary in horror movies.
This is our Korean reboot. This is a small
you're
Korean
recasting
child.
him as a Korean child.
Yeah, this is a small Korean
I
child.
didn't realize it wasn't just a Korean director. You were making the whole
We're
cast.
going full K cinema. This is a weird small child who has a big house full of traps, and we learn to feel sorry for these burglars as they suffer the sins of their crime.
I mean,
as
not
this
to
child
be
torches them.
three white guys to tell what is and isn't Korean, but that's not Korean to me. That does not ring Korean. Korean movies
Yours
are
just
all
rings Willy Wonka that already exists.
Yeah, it's already terrifying.
It's true. That's the thing is Willy Wonka's already scary. I think that's the whole point of Willy Wonka is that it is subversive. I feel like Willy Wonka already is an R-rated movie that's kind of been dressed up as a kids movie.
There's untapped
so
potential.
all you'd be doing is stripping away the cleverness of Willy Wonka.
I'm getting to the core of Willy Wonka.
But you'd just be tearing away all the because that's the whole thing about Roald Dahl and what makes him great is that he took these very adult, subversive themes and dressed them up like a kids movie, and all you'd be doing is undoing all of his hard work.
I'm freeing the subtext behind Willy Wonka. I'm not the
Exactly.
one pitching Silence My Dinner with Andre.
Nothing makes a movie better than freeing the subtext. I would be making it all subtext, which would be adding to the intelligence.
Yeah,
of
it's just a boring movie to me. See,
how do you represent Wallace Shawn's homespun pragmatism versus Andre's
with his fighting style
versus a horrifying Korean
with
child
his fighting style
beating someone with a paint
Tell
can
that to the fight choreographer
and then vanishing
know
back
how
into the
do it.
shadows.
All right, final word, Seth.
All I'll say is there's 4 fucking Home Alone movies already. No one is psyched about another one of those. And Willy Wonka, all I think you're doing is making the original source material less intelligent by stripping away the writer's amazing work at taking what I would consider subversive material and adding a childlike element to it. You'd just be making it what it is, which is subversive. Which I'm not in favor of. Whereas a movie of 2 men, different fighting styles, one based on his pragmatism, the other based on his theorism and his willingness to go on these kind of intellectual larks, trapped in a restaurant together, fight to the fucking death. Nicholas Winding Refn, I'd be the first in line. Tell me you guys wouldn't be psyched about that movie.
Spencer, would you be psyched? Last argument.
You said I would make Willy Wonka less intelligent, and you replaced the words in My Dinner with Andre with punching.
Yeah, there's nothing that is harder as a writer to make action do the talking for you. That I can say.
And Joe, yours is just not Korean enough. I think if you drop Korean, I'm into it. But Korean movies, horror movies, are psychological thrillers. Home Alone needs to be torture.
So, in closing argument, so if one small thing got dropped from mine, you'd be on board. You can't make a scarier movie than the Willy Wonka movies. I think you've made My Dinner with Andre worse. At best, it's a feature-length version of Peter Griffin fighting the chicken. Come on, man.
You'd rather watch the original Dinner with Andre than that?
Much like the movie Big, Home Alone is a movie that if you just tilt it a little bit, you're like, this is fucking insane. And I'm just letting it be its purest form.
Like Willy Wonka.
All right, Dan, anything to add there? I mean, that was pretty creative, so hard to find the facts.
Yeah, I was just going into a dive on, first of all, Eli Roth has named Willy Wonka one of his favorite movies. He had an attraction in Las Vegas called the Goratorium that's now closed. He described
Shame he didn't argue that.
Yeah, you could. That would.
He described it as like Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory, except blood instead of chocolate.
Also, Chenwood Park loves Home Alone too.
It's his favorite movie.
We're actually
he
up
prefers
to
the sequel.
We're up to 5 Home Alones. There was one in 2012 called The Holiday Heist, which is an ABC Family original movie. But what I didn't know was that in Home Alone 4 they
is it R-rated?
No, it's not.
Fuck, see, that would have disqualified him.
In Home Alone 4 they recast Kevin McAllister.
Yeah, with some other white.
They had his parents getting divorced, and Marv was played by French Stewart instead of Daniel Stern.
That sounds creepy. That sounds pretty subversive.
So there you go.
French Stewart.
That's it.
Oh,
and no My Dinner with Andre facts.
Based on the pitches, there was one that I gotta go with Spencer. The old man pitch you did. Don't go back in there. Crispin Glover casting was pretty great.
I'll be honest, I approached that one a little bit wrong.
I think you were close, but
I had maybe more of a comedic slant.
The lack of talking, I think Spencer pointed out, really.
I really wish I had thrown French Stewart in mine.
Joe, you got lost in the Korean stuff. If you just
not the first time
there, it might have worked. All right, we have 2 points for Seth, 1 for Spencer. Here we go. Last round before our tiebreakers or speed round. This is an important one, guys. What is the best sex scene in a movie? It says best R-rated, but I think we just made it. We opened it up.
I hope you dropped that.
It's just best. It's best sex scene.
Okay.
It doesn't have to, but sex is sometimes pretty R, so it's still R themed. You guys can get explicit here. What is the best sex scene in a movie? And Joe, you're leading us off.
Guys, again, let's talk about the only sex scene in a movie that really matters. It is Nomi's pool sex scene with Kyle MacLachlan in Showgirls. It raises so many questions. And as an audience, as storytellers, I think we should want our audience to be asking questions about our narrative. I've never forgotten about that scene ever since I saw it, and so it is the best.
All right, we'll come back and hear more. Spencer, what's your pick?
I did not pick an R-rated movie.
What?
I picked one that's more about the emotion and the feelings.
So you picked a fake dick.
And the passion behind sex, and that is the love scene between Tom Cruise and Kelly McGillis in Top Gun. This scene is the release of sexual tension that has been building and building and building, not just between Maverick and his co-pilots, which is really what throws you off, because you're not even sure this sex scene is going to happen. In fact, this sex scene was added in a reshoot because audience demanded we see them have sex because we weren't sure if it was ever going to really do it. So this is all about the build-up, the build-up, the build-up, and finally they've been teasing you, not only plot-wise, but they've been teasing you with the opening strains of Take My Breath Away, the whole movie, but when they have sex is when they finally hit you with the full Take My Breath Away, and it's tasteful, it's in a silhouette, Tom Cruise is licking her a lot, he's up on an apple crate so they're at the same height, and then this rings true for like the first sex you have with somebody that you love. He's not going straight to like the monkey Kama Sutra style. It's like just very passionate missionary lovemaking, and that's why it's the best sex scene.
Seth, what's your pick?
Mine is. I'm approaching this a little bit more again from a comedic standpoint because I do think comedy is harder to portray than romance or whatever that
or
is
just
in Showgirls. But it's one of my favorite scenes ever in a movie, and it's the sex scene in MacGruber. And I actually think it's one of the funniest scenes.
The graveyard one.
Yeah, the graveyard fucking scene where he's fucking the ghost of his dead wife. On her grave. And not only is it emotionally resonant, it's truly one of the funniest scenes I've ever seen in a movie. It's the weirdest fucking sex scene. And to that end, out of originality's sake, out of just sheer comedy's sake, out of just MacGruber's, I think, one of the most underrated movies of all time. And I think that is the best sex scene ever in a movie.
All right, guys.
I agree it's the weirdest... no, I don't agree it's the weirdest
There you
sex
go.
scene
You
because
almost gave it.
Showgirls is definitely the weirdest sex scene.
Definitely.
I am not asking questions about the narrative when I see Showgirls. I'm asking questions about their anatomy. Where does Kyle MacLachlan's dick begin? Because it must be coming out of his stomach.
I think one could argue, and this could disqualify you right there, there's no physical way they're fucking having sex in that scene. Nor are they even trying to convince us they're having sex in that scene. She is just
She's like an electric eel.
His
She's just
pectoral
flopping around.
muscles.
But then-
unless Kyle MacLachlan's dick is growing out of his
But then we
sternum,
never see
that
them.
is not a sex scene.
But do we ever see them from shoulders down in Top Gun? You literally
don't need to.
You picked
You
Dirk
don't need
Diggler's
to.
fake dick for this
No,
argument.
no.
I
PG-13
think
I
it's
pick
one of those
romance.
things. Like that's also not the scene.
It's not even a pretty kiss.
in Showgirls. That is the most sexually shocking or bizarre
It's
scene.
when she makes Kyle MacLachlan jizz his pants.
No, it's when she makes that guy see that she's on her period when she's fucking dry humping him in the dance studio.
You know why I didn't go
That
with
is
that?
the moment where, like, I showed my wife Showgirls recently because she hadn't seen it, and that scene, the pool sex scene, maybe elicited a mild chuckle. The period blood dance studio scene, if you went with that, I would be fucking. I would have dropped out of this
Other
competition
sex scenes
right
in the
now.
movie. The other sex scene in MacGruber is just as good, if not better, than the graveyard one.
Nah,
It's
the
a
graveyard,
retread.
The graveyard one is the best.
The sex scene between him and Kristen Wiig is just as funny. He's doing the funny noises. He's doing "I'm gonna shoot." He's doing all that stuff.
But he's fucking his dead wife.
I don't even like.
On her grave. And for that reason, there's no better sex scene. It's her ghost. It cuts wide. You just see his ass pumping away at nothing as he's fucking
I'm going to argue against this
tombstone.
sex scene because, you get the funny from that sex scene, but you don't get anything else.
I totally disagree with that. I emotionally resonated
In
with that
mine, you
scene.
get everything. You
What
get
do
Elizabeth Berkley's boobs. You get laughs. Here's why I went with
there's
this.
no emotion. Yours
This is why I went with this
bewildering.
over period blood.
Yes.
Because of Kyle MacLachlan's line directly leading into this sex scene, when I drink champagne, I always drink champagne. One of my top 10 what the fuck was that lines of all time.
Well, because she asked about his crystal earlier.
It
His
ranks
crystal.
with Blade, with
Contest
his
is-
motherfuckers
that's
always
the
want his ice
punchline
skate
to a
uphill.
setup.
Contest is not what's the best weird line going into a sex scene.
It's a part of the
Contest
sex
is-
scene.
that is not.
In
It's a
fact,
part of the sex
everything
scene.
pre-sex in that scene is good. You're like, wow, he has neon palm trees above his pool.
Yeah,
That's
and then
pretty
he
cool.
subverts
And then
your
the sex begins,
expectations.
and you're like, what the fuck just
Exactly,
happened?
because he's a master filmmaker.
Yes. And I can argue the Top Gun sex scene is not the best sex scene in the movie because that's not who you want to see fucking that
It's all-
movie.
yeah,
at the end of the day.
Ask anyone in the 1980s.
And, well, I would say
No.
there was homophobia was rampant in the 1980s.
It's
no
also-
one could wrap their heads around what that movie was clearly actually about.
It also
and
looks-
that sex scene was clearly put into the movie as an afterthought. You admitted it yourself.
not an afterthought.
And therefore, not
It was
an-
by demand.
Yeah,
Audiences
so
demanded
it's a
to wa-
pandering sex scene, which
Yeah.
is a filmmaker I find abhorrent. That you would list a pandering sex scene that was made to satisfy test audiences.
Now-
That's one of the best sex scenes ever in a movie. The filmmakers didn't believe in it. Tom Cruise wanted to be fucking Val Kilmer. We all know that.
Yeah.
And so it is not. In my
wanted to
Which is
be
why
opinion,
it's so powerful. It's the
it's
release
not.
of tension that's
It
been
is
building
not.
the whole
I think
movie.
Clearly,
No.
history
On
will
top
show
of
it
that-
is the building of more tension.
On top of that, the sex scene in Top Gun looks like what a sex scene that a dad who's who's
Yes.
terrified to talk about sex with
It's
his
not-
kids would
it's
show
so-
them.
it's very
It's this.
unerotic.
No,
You just
no,
lie
no.
on top of
No,
each
it's
other
very
and their
classy.
tongues kiss.
No,
It's
if you
not.
again,
It's
the-
very
the
tasteful.
sex. Tom Cruise himself has been in better sex scenes, which is saying something. The fucking scene in with Rebecca De Mornay is
Risky Business.
that's 100 billion times of a
No,
better
no, no.
sex scene.
This is a classic sex scene. The
Nah.
music, the narrative
No.
placement of the sex scene. Now,
Tom
and talk
Cruise,
about like
Tom Cruise dick in Magnolia to me is a better sex scene than
Your
the
shit
sex
argued that
scene
dick
is a joke, and it's the second time they do that joke in the
just
movie.
that
My
dick
sex
is
scene,
a better sex scene.
we've seen
Your sex
people.
scene isn't a sex scene.
We've seen people fuck
It's
dead
a
people in
water
movies
dance.
before. You've seen isn't it? It's just two people touching tongues like that. It's awful. It's just
Yeah.
this.
No.
It's
and
just
then,
this. It's
and then
just
in
this
the
over and
morning
over
after,
again.
he makes a little paper jet airplane. That's romance.
But
right
that's
there.
the morning after. When I drink champagne, I always drink champagne. That's the moment before. If you want to talk about timeline, my sex scene shows you something you've never seen before. Elizabeth Berkley tornado fucking a dick.
You see that like
When have you
8
ever seen
times
that
in the
before?
movie. She does that like in every single scene.
Not in
And
a
now-
swimming pool, Spencer.
Now everyone knows that's had a little bit of sex in their lives that pool sex is highly overrated. Sex in water is never that smooth. It's somehow rough.
It's dangerous.
Very
Actually, they
uncomfortable.
recommend you don't do that.
Yeah, you shouldn't. And that's how bad they want to fuck each other.
You're basically
They know.
pounding water
Yeah.
into a crevice. It's not good for anybody.
Elizabeth Berkley's like,
Chlorinated
I'm
water,
gonna
too.
get Berkley's like, I'm gonna get chlorine in my pussy. I still want to fuck this dude. It's huge.
I think
It's huge.
I think that one shouldn't be. I think that one fails because it doesn't achieve its intended goal by any stretch of the
Which
imagination.
is what's the goal? Final thoughts here. Yeah.
The goal, I mean, they didn't want us to be fucking clowning their sex scene, so by means of that, it's a terrible sex scene. And yes, there's an irony to saying that it's a wonderful sex scene because it's funny that it looks like she's fucking his chest.
No.
It's a terrible sex scene. It's not a real good sex scene. Top Gun, that is not who you want to see fucking in this movie.
Oh, come on.
Tom Cruise has very little sexual chemistry with her in that moment, and you're right, there is a lot of sexual tension in that movie. It is not between those two characters. I would also argue, as someone who makes movies, I think it's insulting to consider a pandering afterthought scene one of the best scenes in the movie. The filmmakers would hate that. Tony Scott would be rolling over in his grave. And I think that my sex scene not only is one of the most original sex scenes, if you go for margin of difficulty in a sex scene, this is a hard scene to shoot because it has to be very funny. It can't be too gross enough you don't lose the audience. And I think we can all appreciate that if this movie had found the audience that it deserved, this would have gone down in history as one of the funniest scenes of all time.
Joe, final thoughts.
It was funny, but that's all it gave us. I would argue that the entire purpose.
What did yours give us?
The entire purpose of Showgirls, it's not ironic or like silly to be like, the entire purpose of Showgirls is to make you go, what the fuck is this? And I would say that scene, among others, is a scene that successfully says, what the fuck is this? It's a tornado thing, and her boobs, and comic, what's happening? And it does that successfully.
Spencer.
My sex scene is the arguably the most erotic when compared to both of yours. Okay, and this is the culmination of a will they won't they that builds over the entire movie. And is
with
finally,
two other characters.
And is finally released in this scene that the audience demanded. It's not pandering when they demand it.
Oh, it
and
is.
yours is like a sex scene written and directed by people who've never had sex in their
Yours
life.
doesn't even have the sexiest song on the soundtrack.
And yours is
under
the
it.
second beat of a good joke. It was funny the first time. It's still funny the second time.
I call
but,
that a payoff.
Yeah.
All right. Whew. Dan, thoughts?
Top Gun, yes, that was a reshoot done 5 months after the movie was
5
wrapped.
months.
Because the test audiences were not happy that there was no love scene in the movie. In 2005...
Have you ever gotten that note, Seth?
We get the opposite note every time.
In 2005, Empire magazine did give the Showgirls sex scene an award. Unfortunately, it's for the worst sex scene of all time.
That doesn't bode well.
All our Empire magazine readers.
That's all I was able to catch.
The Brits hated
All right.
that scene.
Based on those arguments,
The UK hated it.
I think, Joe, you got stuck on the what the fuck, where you could have at least. It was a second thought to bring even that are boobs, because no one else showed boobs. So you got
I
lost.
said
you got
boobs a few times.
Yeah, so you didn't go hard on that enough, and then you just got stuck on it's a what the fuck.
Because I'm a
But-
gentleman.
Yeah, fair enough. But there were I don't know. So I couldn't. So sadly, Joe, you're out. It became between Top Gun and
all
MacGruber, and you had me, Spencer. But then you almost shot yourself in the foot when you said it was the reshoot, and then he just killed you with that of the fact that it's an afterthought, pandering, and then the sexual tension, the fact that that's not who you really want to see fuck. really threw me over the edge. So Seth gets that final point. That puts him to 3-1 into our speed round.
Let's do it.
Joe,
right.
congratulations, Joe.
Thank
Good
you.
try. You
Look-
you had fun though. I hope.
I told my wife that you were fighting and that you were arguing the MacGruber grave scene, and she was like, "Oh, you're fucked." That's one of the greatest scenes of all time.
I could argue it's one of the best scenes ever in a movie.
I would second you.
It just happens to be a sex scene.
All right, we have a chance for 5 extra points here, real quick, to see if Spencer can pull it. Otherwise, Seth's
All right.
gonna. The way speed round works, you'll have 20 seconds to answer 15-second follow-ups.
Wait,
you
so
have
wait,
to
what do I
answer
do?
quickly. I'm gonna
I
throw a
answer
question
first?
out. No, you'll have to answer
Whoever
at the same
answers
time.
first
we
If
just
you
30
answer the same
seconds.
thing at the same
Yeah.
time, you'll have to pick something else. It's whoever we heard first. The first one's a visual aid. We're gonna throw up there. This is the bargain bin. We have fans submit 2 movies from the bargain bin at their store. You have to tell us which movie should we buy. And this comes in from Tessapedia. Here we go. Green Hornet or Spider-Man 3?
Spider-Man 3.
Seth gets Green Hornet. Spencer gets Spider-Man
Oh,
3.
you pick one. I didn't
Yeah,
get that.
sorry. So Spider-Man 3 for Spencer, and he went first. So Seth, you have a minute. You're going to tell us why we should buy Green Hornet over Spider-Man 3.
Well-
hold on. Spencer's first. 20 seconds.
Go for it, man.
Okay,
I'm gonna look you in the eye when you say this.
Spider-Man 3 is a unfairly maligned comic book movie just because it doesn't live up to the level of Spider-Man 1 and 2. It embraces the family, kid-friendly aspect of Spider-Man and actually does that kind of well. It's giving you everything you want. You have, surely it's the same plot because Spider-Man is struggling with his inner demons. He marries and breaks up with Mary Jane. The
Time's
dance.
up. 20 seconds.
Worst
whenever you
argument ever. For all those reasons, you could see any Spider-Man movie. That's not even. That is a bad Spider. It's one of the worst Spider-Man movies. The ending's terrible. They kill Venom or Carnage. It's terrible. I couldn't even tell you who it is. Green Hornet, on the other hand, it's a spectacle. It's truly one of the weirdest movies of all time. Michelle Gondry directed it. I wrote it. Neil Moritz produced it. I guarantee you won't be bored watching that.
15-second rebuttal, Spencer.
I want to see Seth Rogen do Seth Rogen things. The Seth Rogen superhero movie. I'm just confused. I don't know what's happening. I agree. He deserves all the acclaim and all the fame in the world, but I want Seth Rogen to make me laugh, not to make me.
Spider-Man 3 is just one of many Spider-Man movies. Green Hornet is truly, I'm not going to argue, one of the weirdest things I've ever done. It is a strange movie. You will have a better time watching it than Spider-Man 3, hands down.
All right, Joe and Dan, based on those arguments, I got to give it to Seth. I think Spencer got lost.
I love this. It's something we've never seen before.
He's ready to take on Seth, and then he just did not want to take on
Yeah, I love it. He would have just
Look up and oh, that's
He's right there.
Right here. It's not so fun. We have
could
feelings
fight
too,
me.
you know.
Dan, go ahead.
He couldn't even say you. He kept going, Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen.
Say me.
All right, here we go. Number 2. Based on their filmographies, who is the better lay? Zac Efron or James Franco?
James Franco.
Okay, Seth
right.
gets James,
Their filmographies.
and based on the filmographies, you get Zach
like
Spencer.
their characters?
Yeah, based on their movies.
Okay.
That's what, he knows more, so I don't want
Okay.
him to the unfair advantage. Based on the movies, Dan, start the clock whenever Seth starts talking.
Zac Efron just started playing someone who fucks maybe several years ago. James Franco's been playing a fucker for years. He's probably fucked every type of thing and person you can fuck in movies. I would argue his movie persona is maybe the best sexually able one ever in movies. He fucks anything and will do that on film.
20 seconds, Spencer.
If you think Zac Efron hasn't been fucking since High School Musical, you've got another thing coming. This guy has been a heartthrob. He's been putting girls through puberty and then executing on that since he was a teenager. And now he's cleaned up, he's sober, you know he's gonna be locked in. All he does is work out and drink protein shakes, and all he has left is sex. And he's gonna give it to you. James Franco's bored with
Are we
sex.
talking about the
15
real
seconds.
people? Wait, are we talking about the real people or their characters?
Yeah, he went a little off.
He went full real Zac Efron, because you can't argue that movie Zac Efron has been fucking for any more than, like, maybe there's 3 movies where Zac Efron's been fucking. Franco's done 65 movies where he fucks people.
last Spencer.
I look at a James Franco movie. I don't think he'd be a good fuck. I think he would be one that would kind of like creepily. He wouldn't call you back. He'd just give you the least common denominator of fucking. Then he'd just slink out. Zac Efron would love you and he would give it to you straight.
Oh, all right. That was a little tougher, actually. That was a better fight. Dan, thoughts?
Yeah, Spencer came back in the rebuttal, but he went way off the trail. It's based on their filmography, and he went way off the trail in the first
that many
round.
Zac Efron
I'm going with Seth in this one.
Joe?
I'm going to give it to quality over quantity. I'm going with Spencer on this one.
Yeah, even though he went off the rails, you could say some of it based on his characters. I'm giving it to Spencer.
Right, I'm still in it.
Spencer's still in it. Zach's he's just so good looking too. Yeah, you mentioned that. All right. So that gives you're still in the running. Here we go.
Okay.
Number 3. What is the least appropriate movie to show a child under 10?
Oh, just in general?
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream.
Ooh.
I just have to pick anyone.
Any movie.
Fuck. Hostel.
Hostel. You go first, Spencer.
I think
Come on.
you have the full buffet of things you don't want to expose your kid to in Requiem for a Dream. You have the worst possible type of sex. You have drugs, and you have graphic violence. You have so many horrible psychological things happening to people. It's not just gore like in Hostel. You can tell a kid to close your eyes during Hostel. You can't tell a kid to close your eyes. You're still gonna hear ass to ass.
I didn't realize that closing their eyes was a part of this, but you can tell your kid to close your eyes throughout any movie, so that's a silly argument. But I think that Requiem for a Dream, the kid will probably fall asleep at times. There goes long stretches of time where it's just Jared Leto emoting. I think Hostel is truly one of the grossest things you could ever show someone. It will really actually fuck up a kid for quite a long time to see that stuff, whereas Requiem for a Dream is more cerebral.
A kid's gonna see gross things no matter what. It's just a part of being a kid, especially with Google these days. Requiem for a Dream is unique in its horrificness. It gives you psychological horror, and you said mess up a kid. That's gonna really stick with them and mess up their mind instead of just shocking imagery.
I think for that reason, kids under 10 would check out a Requiem for a Dream so fucking fast. Hostel has the exact pace and sensibility that a kid under 10 would love. They would totally latch into it and become sick motherfuckers, I think.
All right, that's it. Wow, he won me over in the closing there. I got to give it to Seth. Dan?
Yeah, it was the pacing. It was the
Kids wouldn't even pay attention.
Exactly.
Spencer, that closed the deal.
well
Seth
played, well
Rogen,
played.
you win today's movie fight. Wow! Congratulations! You played this hard. You know your shit. I'm megally impressed. We got guys. How fun was this? You know how you thank him for coming and doing this. You go see Sausage Party August 12th in theaters everywhere. It's really really funny. You're gonna see it. If you like this, you're gonna see 10 times this and so much fun stuff. So make sure you go check it. Sausage Party Movie on Twitter, and thank you Seth Rogen. Seth Rogen on Twitter as well for you.
Sure,
they
go
can
for
come
it.
find you and tell you how great you were.
Yeah, that's mostly what people do.
Joe Starr, Spencer Gilbert, Dan Murrell, everyone here. I got one more thing though. I'm putting you on the spot because I need your advice.
Yeah.
We just found out, as I know you're a fan of Honest Trailers, we're Emmy nominees now for Honest Trailers.
Congratulations.
You're an Emmy nominee as well.
I am. We lost.
Well, we're up against your buddy James Franco
Well,
for his AOL show. Come on, he doesn't need it, right?
he might need it more than you. That's what's sad.
But any advice?
I don't know. We lost.
You lost
so
the
I don't
Daily
know.
Show, yeah.
We
we
lost the
had
Daily
same
Show
problem.
in the year that they became the best show ever on television. My advice: I just remember you had to pay for drinks and the seats were uncomfortable, so bring a pillow and your wallet.
Good advice.
Solid. Yeah.
All right, awesome. That's it for the show. I want to thank Seth again. Sausage Party, August 12th. This was amazing. Come back anytime, man. You know your shit.
Thank
that
you
was
so
a lot
much.
of fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Every podcast we put on YouTube comes with this kick-ass graphic listing all the topics your favorite Screen Junkies podcasters are talking about. If you click the topics, you can skip around and choose your own podcast battle royale. Go ahead, try them all. If you haven't already, subscribe to Screen Junkies on YouTube to join us for future fights. Oh, and movie fighters, want to see how we scored Seth Rogen? Then click the video below.